At 10:15 this morning at her home in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Elizabeth Edwards surrendered to cancer. Her 3 children, siblings, friends, and her estranged husband, John Edwards, were at her side. She was only 61 years old. President Obama spoke with both John Edwards and the Edwards' daughter, Kate. He released a statement saying, "In her life, Elizabeth Edwards knew tragedy and pain. Many others would have turned inward. Many others, in the face of such adversity, would have given up. But through all that she endured, Elizabeth revealed a kind of fortitude and grace that will long remain a source of inspiration. Our thoughts and prayers are with her family and friends." A final message to her friends and supporters was posted on her Facebook page yesterday. "The days of our lives for all of us are numbered, we know that. And yes, there are certainly times when we aren't able to muster as much strength and patience as we would like. It's called being human. But I have found that in the simple act of living with hope and in the daily effort to have a positive impact in the world, the days I do have are made all the more meaningful and precious. And for that, I am grateful." One of Elizabeth Edwards' dear friends joins me now, Karen Finney, former Director of Communications for Elizabeth Edwards during the Kerry Edwards presidential campaign in 2004. Karen, John Edwards being present in the final days, I assume that was Elizabeth Edwards' choice.
Yeah, and I think that's a real testament to her character in terms, she understood, particularly having gone through the loss of Wade and understanding the impact that had on Kate and on John Edwards, knowing that she has 2 young children, and Kate also, they need their father there at a time like this. So I think that's a real testament to her that, in just down to the last moment, she was taking care of everybody and making sure that they were going to be okay. And, that was part of what made her such a remarkable person. I mean, I worked for her, but half the time she was, checking up on, are you okay? And in the campaign world, that's the candidate never says that to you. So that was just part of what made her such a special human being.
So in what became her final moments, her definition of family still included John Edwards. They're co-parents of these children, and presumably she was thinking about their lives going forward now with only one parent alive.
Yep, absolutely, and her brother and sister were also there. Family has always been so important to Elizabeth, and the idea of family, and part of what I think she did was sort of create families wherever she went. The president's statement struck me because I think one of the things Elizabeth would want people to know is that from her perspective, she won. People like to think of, you lose a battle or you succumb, but this is a woman who figured out how to pull her life together after the loss of Wade, and you would think that would be the worst thing that could ever happen. Then she found out she had cancer, and, I was there when she was diagnosed. It was all about, okay, let's move forward, and taking care of the kids and making sure they understood, what was happening. So right down to the end, it was about taking care of people, living a great life, and being just incredibly grateful for her life.
She suffered tragedies that are unimaginable to most of us. The loss of a child, just indescribably unimaginable. A public strangeness beyond description in terms of how her marriage publicly came apart and the reasons for it coming apart, with her husband straying and having another child outside of wedlock. These are things that you can't prepare yourself for. You find out who you are in those moments, don't you?
That's right. Absolutely you do. And, one of the things, though, that made Elizabeth unique was that I think she understood how to draw strength from friends and family, and draw strength from, even strangers that you might meet. Sometimes, certainly, she was a big UNC basketball fan. So, sometimes it was around something fun or the loss of a child. And I think during those times, that's really what sustained her, is her own faith, her own hope, but also, friends and family, and the belief in, I will get through this and I'll move forward.
We're going to have to leave it there. Karen Finney, our condolences for you and your loss of your friend. Karen Finney, spokesperson for John Edwards' campaign in 2004. That's tonight's Last Word. Countdown is up next.